just noticing them and then letting them pass by. As we're sitting here, keeping that spine lengthened, that neck lengthened, and that breath, bringing peace, balance, and calm to our bodies and our minds. Starting to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And anytime you want to take a nice deep breath, go ahead, filling up the lungs. And then bringing the attention to the belly. Visualizing that breath filling up the belly. Maybe placing a hand on the belly to remind the breath to go there. Keeping the shoulders down and back. Taking another deep breath in here. And from this space, we'll open up the practice by chanting 3 Oms together. Taking a nice deep breath in here. Exhaling through the mouth. One more time, breathing in through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Slowly opening the eyes. From here we can turn on our playlists. It's in the WhatsApp chat. If you want to practice to music. Keeping the spine nice and tall. Just drop the chin to the chest. Just start moving the head from side to side. Ear to shoulder, like nice half circles. Chin just skims along the chest. Slowly or a little bit faster. Just waking things up, warming things up, stretching the neck. And then this time dropping the right ear to the right shoulder, but turning the gaze forward. So we feel a nice stretch through the side of the neck, bringing that left hand down and wrapping the right hand around the left ear, but keeping that spine lengthened, not collapsing forward or down, keeping nice and tall and engaged here, and just pulling gently. And then dropping the gaze down, so the sort of nose is into the armpit, and the stretch is a little bit further to the back of the neck. Just pulling gently here. And releasing, half circle to the other side. Gaze is forward, wrapping the left hand around the right ear, right hand down. Gaze is forward, feeling a nice deep stretch all the way from under the ear, all the way down the shoulder. And then turning the gaze down, so nose is in the armpit, and just pulling gently here. And then releasing, bringing the chin to chest, bringing it to center, and bringing the hands, interlacing the hands just behind the head. So keeping that spine nice and engaged. So the back of the head is almost pushing into the hands as the hands pull forward. Feeling a nice stretch all the way down through the shoulders. Keeping that pressure there, keeping that spine, that back lengthened. Breathing here, inhale. Exhale, release, bringing the hands just behind the seat, pushing the pelvis, the belly, the chest forward, dropping the head back, squeezing the shoulders together. Head can drop all the way back or stay in line with the spine, whatever's comfortable. Squeezing the shoulders, opening up the front line of the body, breathing here, inhale. And exhale, come back to center, taking a nice gentle twist, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Right hand drops just behind you, looking back over the right shoulder, nice and tall, almost creating a little Mini back bend in the lower back here, just pushing the pelvis and the chest forward as we twist around, breathing. And release, coming to the other side. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, pushing the pelvis forward, looking back over the left shoulder, breathing here. So going in all directions to wake up the spine. Come back to center, placing the right hand just outside of the right hip and thigh, reaching that left arm up and over, and then taking it to the other side and just moving gently from side to side. Keeping the gaze up at the elbow crease or palm of the hand, just moving from side to side, waking things up, feeling joyful about the movement, joyful about the fact that we made it to the mat, joyful that we can move our bodies in this way. Couple more times, side to side. Lovely. Then come back to center, interlace the hands, reach the arms forward, round out the back, drop the head down between the shoulders, really reach the arms forward as you round out the back, going in 2 different directions. Breathe here. And then release. Roll the shoulders, big rolls back. Nice, big opening rolls back and then forwards. And then bigger movements with the arm, reaching the arms forward and up. Hold there for a moment and then circle them round and down, reaching them forward and up, holding them there, gaze is up, and then exhale, circle round and down one more time, scooping up all the energy that you need for the day and the week ahead, reaching up through the fingertips, and then exhale, circle round and down. Lovely, just wiggle everything out. Move the waist, the shoulders, interlace the hands, circle the wrists one way, circle it the other way. Shake everything out and then find your way to a nice tabletop and keep that movement going, that joyful movement. It can be fast, it can be slow, but it's definitely intuitive, listening to what your body needs today. Swaying from side to side, moving through the hips, circling through the hips. Noticing how things feel, how your body's feeling this morning, and moving into the spaces that are still a bit tight, the spaces that need to be waking up, the spaces that need a little bit of extra movement, nourishment, swaying from side to side. And then opening out the knees a little bit wider, feet in, and gently arch through the spine, the lower spine, and sit the seat back slowly towards the heels. As you touch down on the heels, scoop the pelvis forward and round through the spine, coming up and forward. Maybe walk the hands a little bit further forward and sink the hips down into a soft, gentle upward facing dog. Bring the gaze up as you breathe in, and then drop the chin back down to the chest, rolling all the way back through the spine, then bringing the seat back towards the heels and then moving forward again. So it's moving in this like wave-like motion through these spinal rolls, activating the whole spine as we go from top to bottom, tucking the chin back to the chest, bringing the seat back towards the heels, and then one more time, scooping it all the way forward, sinking the hips down and coming down to elbows and forearms, and just staying here for a moment, looking over one shoulder, looking over the other shoulder, moving from side to side here, one shoulder and then the other shoulder, and then coming into an upward facing dog, pressing the hands into the mat, gazes up, breathing here, stretching open the waist, the stomach, breathing here, inhaling and exhaling, coming back to a nice tabletop here, bringing the knees in a little bit so that they're below the hips, and just moving through a couple cat-cows here, just stabilizing and neutralizing a little bit, waking things up. Hands should be below the shoulders and just moving up and down here. Then coming to a nice neutral spine, reaching that right arm forward, kicking that left leg back, and just holding this strong straight line for a moment, building some heat. Kicking, so the foot's flexed, kicking through the heel. I'm going to draw the knee and the elbow in together 5 times just to create some heat here. So here we go. 1, kick back, reach forward. 2, bring it in. 3, bring it in. Reach it out. 4, bring it in. Reach it out. And 5. Just hold for a moment, drawing everything in for 5. And then release it down. Reaching the left arm forward, kicking the right leg back. Holding for a moment, kicking through the heel, holding there. And then drawing knee and elbow together for 1. Reach it out. 2. Reach it out. 3. Reach it out. 4. One more time. Hold it here just for a moment, drawing everything in. And then releasing down, tucking the toes under, rocking back and forwards into the feet. You can lift the knees up 1 or 2 inches or keep the knees down. We really want to stretch through the feet, the soles of the feet, the toes. You can stay back on the heels just for a moment if you need that slightly deeper stretch. And then coming back to a tabletop, keeping the toes tucked under and slowly lifting up the hips and pressing back into your first downward dog. Pedaling out the feet here in your downward dog. Pressing into the mat. Bending and straightening one leg and then the other. Moving the hips, looking up under the armpits, moving the body side to side. Waking things up, warming things up, keeping that pedaling motion going. Just a couple of times, remembering to draw the shoulders away from the neck and the ears. And then just finding a still moment here in your downward dog. Pressing the chest back towards the legs. And then on the next inhale, reaching that right leg up high behind you, lifting it up all the way up, bending at the knee, opening out at the hips, circling. Circle from the ankle one way and the other way, and then lovely big circles through the hip one way and the other way. And then squaring the hips, stepping that right foot through to land between the hands, bringing that back knee down. I need to walk my foot slightly forward, front of my hands, and then just folding forward here, allowing yourself to sink a little through the hips into this lunge, maybe nice little swaying motions from side to side, just allowing. And then from here, bringing the hands to the right knee, lifting up the torso and just sinking a little bit further, pulsing up and down here, just pulsing through. Bringing the left hand to the left hip, reaching that right hand down, maybe it touches down, maybe it hovers, and then reaching that left arm up and over, feeling a lovely stretch through the ribs, the hips, the side of the waist. Gazes up, breathe here. You can keep pulsing through the hips or just sink a little lower, breathing here, inhaling. Exhale, release the hands down either side of the right foot and lengthen that right leg back as you fold forward, flexing the right foot, folding forward here. Just breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling, lovely deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then bending into the right leg and straightening. So just bending and straightening a few times. Hips move back and forwards. Very nice. Then bending into that right knee, tucking the back toes under, stepping the right leg back, pedaling it out a couple of times, and then lifting the left leg up high behind you, then bending at the knee, opening out the hip, circling the ankle one way, circling the other way. The lovely big circles from the hip, one way and the other way. And square the hips, step that left foot through to land between the hands, placing the foot wherever you need to, where is comfortable, bringing that back knee down and just folding forward here for a moment. Any micro movements you need to do to allow the hips just to open up a little bit more. Then start to lift up, bring the hands to that left knee. Just settle here for a moment, pulsing through the hips. Then right hand to right hip, left arm reaches down to the floor, hovering in the air or touching down, reaching that right arm up and over. Gaze is up, sinking a little bit further. Maybe moving your foot if you need to, your left foot, reaching up, gazing up. And then releasing both hands down either side of the left foot, lengthening that left leg, flexing the left foot, folding forward here. The leg is semi-straight or straight, or there's a bend there, whatever you need, but just make sure the hips are squared and you're folding forward here. And then bending through that left knee and straightening a few times. Hips just move back and forwards here. Flexing and bending. And then this time bending into that left knee, tucking the back toes under, stepping that left foot back, pedaling out the legs, side to side, and then slowly walking the feet towards the center of the mat, stepping the feet about hips distance apart, bending into the knees, just folding forward here, creating a little shelf with your legs, folding forward here, allowing the head to just hang heavy. Releasing the arms down, arms hang heavy, and then grasping opposite elbows, beginning to straighten up a little bit and moving from side to side here. You can bend and straighten the legs as you go, or keep them straight as you move gently from side to side. For me, I know my hamstrings are always super tight in the morning. So anything to lengthen them and release them. And then releasing the arms down, micro bending the knees, start to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly rolling up. Roll the shoulders back as you come to stand. Head comes up last. Roll the shoulders a couple more times. Reach the arms up in front of you. Exhale as you circle them round and down. This time, finding a prayer in front of your heart center. Stepping to the top of the mat. Taking a moment to set your intention. Setting an intention for your practice today, including those around you that need the benefits of the practice, your community, and then circling it back to you. Take a breath in here. Release the arms down by your side, beginning Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, pressing the palms, reach the arms up overhead. Gaze up at the hands and exhale, folding forward, touching down in this beautiful morning body prayer. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, step it back, lower down, Chaturanga, connecting with the earth and nature. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Finding stillness here or micro movements here, whatever you need this morning. Doing checks from your fingertips through your hands to your wrists, up your arms, your elbows up to your shoulders, your neck and your head. Maybe moving your head from side to side, back and forwards, up your back, into your hips, your legs, and keeping your heels close to the mat. Maybe moving up and down, taking a breath in here. And exhale it out. One more deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step or jump forward to meet the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press the palms, rise all the way up, gazing up at the hands. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Again, inhale, press the palms, reach the arms up overhead, gazing up at the hands. Exhale, fold forward, touch down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, step or jump back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Step the feet wide as the mat. And reach that left hand back to wrap around the right, outside of the right ankle, looking up under the right armpit. Gently pull back on your ankle, pressing your left hand into the mat. And then release, switch sides. Looking up under your left armpit, pulling back, breathing here. And then release the hand down. Step the feet in so they're hip distance apart. And just take a couple rounds of breath here. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhaling and exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press the palms, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, arms by your side, Tadasana. Inhale, Surya Namaskar, bending the knees, pressing the palms, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward in touchdown. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, step or jump back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Step that right foot forward, coming into warrior one on the right side, Virabhajasana. Here we go. Press the palms, reach the arms up, bend that knee a little deeper. Back heel is down, gaze is up. Inhale here. And exhale, release the hands either side of that front foot. Step the right foot back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Step that left foot forward. Warrior one on the left side. Press the palms, reach the arms up. Gaze is up. Bend a little deeper into that left knee. Reach up, inhale. And exhale, release the hands down. Step it back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And push back to downward facing dog. Staying here in your downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Breathing here, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Gazes to the back, through the gap in the legs. Inhaling and exhaling. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, bend the knees, sit low in your chair, press the palms, reach the arms up overhead. Just staying here for a moment. Press the palms, sit a little bit lower, maybe glance down and see if you can see your big toes. Wiggle your toes, reach your arms up, gaze up, breathe in. And then exhale, fold forward, touch down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, step or jump back, lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward. Come into warrior one. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Just hold the warrior two for a moment. Gaze over the front fingers. And then with your back hand, start to circle it down and in front of you. Lift it up. Reach both arms up in front of you. Lift the back heel up. And then reach the right arm back, revolving your warrior two. So reaching right arm back, looking over the back of the right shoulder. Reach that right arm down and back. Lift the left arm up. Here we go. Gaze is up. Or gaze can be back over the shoulder. Reaching a little bit more. Breathe here. Exhale, gently release that left hand down parallel to the right foot. Reach the right arm up, gaze is up. Pointing the fingers towards the ceiling. Gaze is up, breathe here. Inhale, exhale, release that right hand down, step it back, go through your chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward. Coming into warrior one on the left side, reach the arms up. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Just hold that for a moment. And then keep that back arm moving down and in front of the body, reaching it forward, lift that back heel up, and then draw that left arm back. Gaze is back over the left shoulder, then dropping that left hand down, reach the right arm up. Gaze is up towards the fingertips, back over that left shoulder. Breathe here. Then releasing that right hand down, parallel with the left foot. Open out the left side. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Breathe here. And then release. Bringing that left hand down, step the left foot back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Stay here for a few breaths. Any of the changes, maybe your downward dog needs to be a little bit shorter to feel a deeper stretch in the hamstrings. Or you can keep the legs, the feet back. Another 2 breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. One more inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, bend the knees, press the palms, reach the arms up, gaze up. And on the exhale, fold it forward, touch down. Step the feet back, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, push back to downward facing dog. Step that right foot forward, come into warrior one. Press the palms, reach the arms up. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Start straightening that front leg, keeping the feet where they are, or walk the back foot in, finding your way into Trikonasana. Your legs can be wide, your legs can create a shorter stance. Move the left hip back as you reach the right arm forward, and then fold into your triangle pose. Left arm reaches up, gazes up. Allow that left hip to move back. Reach the left fingertips up. Breathe here. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep those arms nice and long and straight. From here, we're going to move into half moon. So bringing your gaze down, bending into your right knee, reaching that right hand in front of you, lifting the left leg up, stacking the hips. Gaze can stay down or gaze can be up. Right hand can be down, stabilizing, or starting to lift that right hand up off the mat. Breathing here, keeping your gaze fixed, your dristi. And then start to release both hands down, coming into a standing split. Keep that left leg lifted up, square the hips, then step it back halfway down the mat, finding your way into a pyramid. That left foot might need to splay out slightly, squaring the hips, folding forward over that right leg. You can come to fingertips or press both hands into the mat. Just folding forward here. Then starting to move that left hand to the outside of the right foot, involving your triangle or keeping it on the inside, wherever you need it to be, maybe adjusting your stance, reaching the right arm up, gazing up, fingertips pointing to the ceiling, breathing here. Inhaling, exhaling, releasing both hands down, stepping both feet back and going through vinyasa, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, pushing back to downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward to warrior one. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Start to straighten that left leg. If you took a wide stance on the other side, do that on this side, or walk the foot in. Hips move back as your arm reaches forward. And then folding. Right arm reaches up, left arm reaches down. Nice, beautiful, strong straight line through the arms. Gazes up. Lovely. Then bring your gaze down, finding your way into a half moon. Bending into that left knee as you move the weight forward, lifting that right leg up. Maybe your right hand needs to come to your right hip. Maybe your right arm reaches up. So many different ways to do this, so many variations. And you need to do what's right for you today in your practice. Maybe you're trying something different. Maybe you like the way you do it each time. Just holding that for a moment. Then releasing the right hand down, lifting the right leg up into a standing split just for a moment. Squaring off the hips and then stepping the right leg back, halfway down the mat into a pyramid. Squaring the hips, folding forward over the left leg. Maybe the right foot out a little bit. I always need to point mine out to kind of 45-degree angle. Folding forward here and then begin to move the right hand to the outside of the left foot or the inside, wherever you need, and lifting up that left arm. Gazes up. Gazes up, breathing here. Inhaling. Exhaling, releasing both hands down, stepping both feet back and going through Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale, push it back to downward facing dog. Just hold it here for a moment in your downward facing dog. Just for a moment. Breathing in and breathing out. On the next inhale, step that right foot forward, coming into warrior one. Reach the arms up. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Keep the back arm moving down and in front of the body and come into a high lunge. Lift the back heel up, reach the arms up, sink through the hips a little bit more. Reaching the arms up all the way out through the fingertips. Sink the hips down a little bit more. And then drawing a prayer in front of the heart center. Gazes forward, start to push the weight into that front knee, that front leg, and pushing forward into a warrior three. Flexing the back foot, kicking through the back heel, keeping the hands where they are in a prayer or reaching them forward, anything you need. Staying here for a moment, keeping your gaze fixed and focused. Breathe here. And start to lift the torso up, bend that left knee, bring it forward in front of the chest, come to stand. Bring the hands around that left knee, just hold it there for a moment. And then moving into a tree pose from here, so opening out the knee, bringing the sole of the foot to the inside of the right standing leg. And then hands to prayer, gazes fixed, or reaching the arms up overhead. Keeping your gaze fixed, keeping your breath balanced, a nice silky smooth inhale and exhale. Just holding it here for a moment. Inhaling and exhaling. Then reaching down, bringing your left ankle, bending the right knee and resting the left ankle on top of the right knee and just folding forward here. There's an arm balance here if any of you want to do the arm balance, or you can just stay here with your hands in prayer, just really stretching through that left glute and psoas. Hands in prayer, breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling, and then release the hands down. Unbind the legs, step them back, and go through your vinyasa. Lower down Chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Step that left foot forward. Warrior one on the left side. Press the palms, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, open out to warrior two. Keep that back arm moving down and in front of the body like a big water wheel. Lift it forward and up. Lift the back heel up. Sink through the hips. Reach the arms up. Reaching up through the fingertips and down through the hips. Breathing here. And then drawing a prayer, the left and the right side energies in front of the heart center. Push forward into that left leg and come into your warrior three. Square the hips. Hands stay here in a prayer or any other variation, kicking back and out through that right heel. Toes are down, pointed towards the floor. Then start to lift up, bend both knees slightly, draw that right knee up and in front of the chest. Interlace the hands around the right knee just to find your balance here. Find something to look at that's not moving. And then open out the knee to the right, bringing the inside of the foot, the sole of the foot to the inside of the left thigh, and hands come back to prayer. Staying here or up in front of you. Finding that stability, pressing the foot down, rooting down to rise up. An expression we all know, but we can really feel here in this tree pose. Start to release the hands down, grabbing the outside of the right ankle, placing that on top of the left knee, not the kneecap, but the fleshy part above the knee. And just sitting the seat back, hands can come to prayer and come right down, folding forward here. You can bring the hands down to the mat if you need to in front of you. Come into an arm balance. Just stretching through that glute and that psoas muscle. Staying here for a moment, breathing in, and then releasing everything down, unbinding the legs, stepping them back, and lower down chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Staying here in your downward facing dog just for a moment. Pedaling the legs, moving from side to side. And then lifting that right leg up high behind you. Stepping it through to land between the hands. Bringing the back knee down. Right hand to right hip, reaching that left arm up, sinking a little deeper, and then twisting to the right side. Hands come into a prayer. Tucking the back toes under, lengthening and lifting that back knee up, or keeping the knee down if you need to, and binding here or opening out the arms nice and wide, or keeping them in a prayer. In a prayer, they press together. It helps you open out towards the side, keeping the gaze up. Breathing here. Inhaling. And exhaling, releasing the hands to the inside of the right foot. Bringing the back heel down and walking the hands down the long line of the mat. And just moving gently side to side through Skandasana. Keeping the hands down if you need to, or lifting the hands up and off the mat. Just moving the hips from side to side. And then walking the hands to the back of the mat, to the inside of the left foot, turning the feet, then lifting the back heel up, lifting that left leg up high behind you, and then stepping it into a downward dog, facing the back of the mat, just pedaling out the legs here. And then lifting that left leg up high behind you, stepping it forward to land between the hands at the bottom of the mat, bringing the back heel down, left hand to left hip, reach the right arm up and twist it to the left side. Tucking the back toes under, lengthening that leg, lifting the knee, pressing the hands together, turning the torso, gaze is up, breathing here. Inhaling, exhaling, release down, walking the hands along the long line of the mat again, and just moving from side to side here. Breathing. And walking the hands back to the top of the mat, keeping them on the inside of the right foot, finding your way into a lizard. You can pulse through that back foot, move gently back and forwards. Bring the back heel down, come down to elbows and torso, elbows and forearms. And just move side to side. See how it feels to lift that back heel up off the mat or keep it down. Staying here or bringing your right hand to the inside of the right knee and just pressing that leg away from you. And then releasing. Bringing the hands to the inside of the right foot, lifting that back leg up, walking back down the long line of the mat, bringing the hands, bending into the left knee, facing the back of the mat, coming into your lizard on the left side. Just finding your way here. Moving from side to side. Hands come to the inside of the left foot, elbows come down. Noticing, does it feel different on this side to the other side? And if it does, that's very, very normal. There's no judgment there. There's no whys. It's just our bodies are not exactly the same on either side. Bringing the left hand to the inside of the left knee, gently pushing that leg away from you. And then releasing, lengthening the arms, walking back along the long line of the mat, but staying in the middle, keeping the hands in the middle, walking the feet in, finding a way into a Malasana, yogi squat, and just moving from side to side in your squat, lifting up one heel, lifting up the other, finding your foot placement, and then starting to find a still point here, settling in, bringing the hands together into a prayer, elbows on the inside of the knees, lengthen the spine here, use that pressure of the hands connecting, opening out of the knees, lengthening the spine, lowering the eyelids or closing the eyes, bringing the gaze and attention to the inside of the forehead. And just sitting here for a moment, taking a nice deep breath in and then out. Another 2 rounds of breath here, inhaling and exhaling. One more time, inhale and exhale. Opening the eyes, bringing the left hand in front of you, right hand behind you to sit back down and finding your way here, connecting the soles of the feet into Baddha Konasana. Heels come closer to the pelvis, interlacing your hands around your feet, sitting lovely and tall here, holding your feet, helps you lengthen through the spine, knees move closer to the mat, really lengthen here. And then keeping that long line moving up through the spine, start to move forward from the pelvis, bringing the chest forward, but keeping the spine nice and straight. So the gaze is forward like a long line coming out the top of the head, a long line of light, bringing the gaze forward. It's almost like moving the chin forward, keeping that spine nice and straight. Staying here with things nice and straight or beginning to round out the spine, folding forward, dropping the forehead down towards the floor or the toes. And just holding, breathing. Inhale and exhale. And then release. Bending the knees. Just holding yourself in a little ball for a second, giving yourself a hug here. Forehead rests down on knees, keeping the legs bent where they are. Start to roll back, coming to laying down on your mat. Maybe move the feet a little closer to the seat, grazing the back of your heels with your fingertips and moving from here into your back bend. You can do bridge or wheel. I like to move my pelvis back and forwards and up and down a couple of times before I lift the hips up. When you're ready, if you're in a bridge, lifting the hips up, interlacing your hands, squeezing your shoulders together and interlacing your hands underneath you, or Hands create a little shelf in the hips, holding the hips up, breathing here, staying for 5 breaths on your own count. Nice deep breaths. And then release down. 1 round of breath, 1 inhale here, 1 exhale, and then coming up again, lifting the hips up, holding them up, pressing the feet into the mat, breathing, inhaling and exhaling, release the hips down, draw the knees into the chest, move from side to side. And then holding onto the knees as you rock back and forwards. And then come all the way up to sit, lengthening the legs out in front of you, reaching the arms up overhead. And exhale as you fold forward, Paschimottanasana. Fingers can wrap around the big toes, the soles of the feet, the heels, the ankles. And this is a slow moving pose. It's like your chest and your thighs slowly get closer together as you stay here, creating a little bit of a pull with your hands, keeping that breath going even when the belly is compressed. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Another couple rounds of breath here. Inhale and exhale. 1 more, breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, start to release. Keeping the legs nice and straight, feet flexed. Just roll slowly back through the spine, coming to lay down on your back. And then lifting the legs up, moving into your shoulder stand or just elevated legs. Keeping, if you're lifting your legs up, it's nice to bring your hands just underneath your feet, just to lift them up a little bit more. Maybe wiggle your toes, circle your ankles, gazes up, breathing here. Lovely deep breaths, gazes up. And then when you're ready, allowing the legs to fold over, coming into your halasana. Feeling a nice stretch in the back of the neck here, interlacing the hands, squeezing the shoulders together. And then if you want to bend the knees either side of the ears, just bending the knees, squeezing a little bit. All start to roll out nice and slowly. And then start to lower the legs down. Nice and controlled. Legs lower all the way down, moving into your Matsyasana. Opening up the front line of the body, puffing out the chest, dropping the head back, inhaling to the crown of the head, breathing in through the nose, and a lovely big exhale through the mouth. Releasing thoughts that we just don't need, that don't do anything for us today. Releasing them out, clearing the space, knowing that we can always come back to the practice if things are a bit jumbled or as this routines start to change over the summer. Even if we can just come back to our mats for a few moments, a short practice, Release out of your fish pose, drawing your knees into your chest and just moving gently from side to side. Maybe coming into a happy baby or a nice supine twist if you want to drop your knees to one side, look over the opposite shoulder, or cross the legs over each other and then drop the knees. And then coming to the other side. We'll be posting some nice, as Catherine already has been, and Rachel, some shorter flows to Patreon. We'll keep doing that. We're having a abridged schedule, and there's lots of content on the site. I think there's actually over 100 classes recorded that are there for you. Coming back to center. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, release, finding your way into Shavasana. Legs stretch out, feet fall open. Arms out to the side, palms facing the ceiling. Deep breath in, sigh it out, and then from here allow the breath to become a little more shallow. Lowering the eyelids or closing the eyes. Starting to find your way back. Bringing some movement into your fingers and your toes. Reaching your arms up overhead, breathing in. And then exhale out a big sigh. Rolling over to one side. Finding your way to a comfortable seated position. Together we'll close this practice, singing Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may my thoughts, words, and actions somehow contribute to that freedom and happiness of all. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Bringing your hands to a prayer in front of your heart center, knowing and trusting that the true teacher lies inside of you. Namaste.